Welcome back to Arise Prime Time with me, Sulaiman Aled, and this is the point on the program. I introduce my guest analysts to give their perspectives on the issues so far you've heard on the show. I'm joined live in the studio by Arise News analyst Dr. Constance Ikokwu and Arise Judiciary editor Toby Shoni. Thank you both for joining me. And we actually started from the judiciary aspect. I think it's a better place for us to start. Toby, he spoke about, there's this pain people go through when you're accused or be spoken to in bad light without having the chance to speak for yourself. And he was, Ajulo was able to say this is the case with the revered justices when people go on social media to malign them and speak things that shouldn't be spoken about them. Paint for us a picture, how the institution is. It's a better place to start. When we talk about dabbling into matters in court, and we still see that on social media, does it have any effect on what goes on in the courtroom?
Yeah, thank you. The nature of the judiciary is that they don't have to react to issue. They don't have to interfere to what people are saying. In the past, the Nigerian Bar Association speak for the judiciary, but the association seem to have abdicated because judges cannot join issue with the public. They rely on lawyers to speak for them. So it's the nature of the job they take. They understand. I mean, remember the last time the Chief Justice was in Rivers State, it created a whole lot of issues. So I'm sure he too will be avoiding some public spaces. So they are not going to talk. They are not going to react. Well, whatever is happening outside, the social media, the noise, they see some of those things, but they are not to be influenced by it. They have rules that guide what they do. They have to abide by the rule, the constitution, the law, the statute, and the ethics of the code of conduct for judges. So they are aware of it. So they are just going to ignore them. They are not going to react. They are not going to, and most those things are not going to influence the judgment that will be delivered eventually. I can assure you of that.
Well, Dr. Ikokwu, one aspect has to do with the social media, and that's also within your area. This is media, and they created a hashtag already. And how forceful or how effective can such a hashtag be? Listening to what Toby has said, well, it's of no effect to what the judges will do or say on the day.
Well, it's a kind of pressure, and it makes the people that are invested in the judiciary or in this particular case feel better. I mean, we cannot deny the fact that in the history of this country, this is probably the first time that an election petition tribunal has garnered so much attention from the citizens. From day one, you had citizens writing about the court proceedings, reporting, covering, speaking out, distilling information because they are interested in what happens. And I think they have the right to be. Social media all over the world is the same thing. It's a crazy space, and any and everything goes. It's difficult to shut them down. So it's what it is. However, we should not lose focus on the main issues and the fact. In every country, the judiciary and the courts, particularly the law, actually, are a cornerstone of a thriving and just society. So people want to live in a country where they have confidence that when they have grievances, it will be followed by due process and everything will be, their rights will be upheld. So these are important facts for people, and that's why we should be taking, or that's what we should be taking away from this particular case. Nigerians are invested, and the other thing is that maybe because of the players that are involved, the three candidates, so they all have followers, and so the followers are also invested in everything that is going on. Yes, the president says that he won fair and square. The opposition says that's not the case. It is now on them to provide credible evidence. I mean, the court cases have ended. Provide credible evidence to show that there were widespread malpractices that can undermine or should undermine the integrity of the process. So at the end of the day, we're waiting for the judges to show us whether those evidences were strong enough.
Toby, you and your team and others have covered this election petition tribunal matters, back to back without leaving anything, uncovered. How has it been so far? Are there hindrances, before the media in the coverage of these proceedings?
Yeah, at the beginning, people called for the proceeding to be broadcast live, but the courts delivered a ruling and I rejected it. And I think that was a kind of disappointment for so many people. So, I mean, maybe you probably will not need to go to the court to cover the proceeding if you can watch it from your sitting room. So that, because going there to cover is a bit tedious, not enough space. The place is always crowded. But if you are an experienced judicial reporter, well, from Falaya and Obasanjo 1999, I have covered virtually all the presidential election petitions. So it's just like the other one. But there will still be more disappointment. I've always argued that, when two people go to court, one will lose, one will win. And the one that loses will say that something had gone wrong. Whoever wins will say, yes, I win fairly. Whoever loses will say, no, something happened behind the scene. Well, and in the process, we malign the integrity of the judges. But it is what it is. And I've also argued in the past that the court are not suited to determine who win an election. We should not cede our civic responsibility to the court. I mean, it's supposed to be the electorate who should determine. But because the politician will not play by the rule, political party will not play by the rule, INEC is not creative enough. So we keep on putting pressure on the judiciary. There are so many cases that are wasting them. People are in jail for an offense they did not commit, but the court cannot hear those cases because they are determined election petition. There are businesses, contractual relationships that have gone sour. There are land cases that have been abandoned, which affect the economy of this country, but they are not being attended to. Everything, some judges that were hearing these cases were suddenly drafted to election petition tribunal, and those cases are deemed abandoned. And we are never going to make progress like that. We need to get the electoral process rightly, and that when somebody wins fairly, the other people are not likely to go to court. We save ourselves the embarrassment, we save the judiciary the pressure. So the ball will still have to be back in the court of politicians, not necessarily. It won't end in the court.
You want to react to that?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to unpack there. At the end of the day, I think that the law is important in every society. Yes, it is true that there is a lot of pressure on the judiciary. Elections should not be decided by judges. They should end at the polls, actually. I think that would be a situation that everybody wants to see and wants to society to accept. But the thing is that it doesn't go that way in Nigeria because of the way that politicians play their politics. But coming back to the importance of the law, when we look at the political system, it looks like questionable characters have captured every level of society, national, state and local government level. So the politics is played in such a way that it's a problem. It is a crisis. And so when you have such people, you have a society that is not governed by law. And that is a problem. It is critical that we build a society that respects the law, because that helps us in terms of predictability and stability. It also helps our human dignity, and people feel like they can be respected in their country. It also fosters social cohesion. You know, we're fighting all the time after the elections. Who wants to be doing that? You know, it kind of creates problems for us. So if there is law and everybody goes by the law, then there is some sort of a social cohesion. You know, the rights of people are upheld. People feel like these legal processes are what they are. And so you can build a society based on trust and confidence. So it's a lot of work that we need to do in our country.
As we do that, let's see if we can close on this quickly here. Toby, do you think that these matters, the Election Petition Tribunal and perhaps even the Niger matter, has actually taken Nigerians off so many other things that the media should dwell on?
Well, that's the nature of news, really. You know, when you are we are battling with economic challenges, and all of a sudden Niger came. So somehow we have forgotten that we are buying fuel at 600 plus per liter, but we'll be back there sooner than later. So if government is still hiding under the Niger Republic crisis, they have to wake up. They have to, address other issues. So it obviously, but given the fact that there is time limit for courts to deliver judgment in the election petition, that judgment is going to come sooner than later, because they are banned. They have, within 3 months, everything you must argue. 6 months, you must argue, and judgment must be delivered. So, if you remember the time the election result was announced, which is, I think it was in March. So we are really running out of time. So we expect it, but people have to prepare for the eventuality.
And as Dr. Constance said, we need to put the pressure on with the hashtag. It's a fine place for us to leave it today and for the week. Dr. Constance Ikokwu and Toby Shoni, many thanks for your time. Well, that's it on the show. You can actually catch the show more on our website, arise.tv. From the team here and everyone, it's bye-bye and thanks for watching.